Hi, this is Adam again, and another one of my serious videos. I hope there's not too much glare, but maybe the light means something, because in this video I'm going to talk about a serious subject, the subject being death, and also how it can affect life in some way, because there are different religions and different viewpoints with death. Now, when I watched the TV show God Friended Me, the first episode had a very notable plot which set out the premise behind why the main character believed what he did. Because the main character used to be a Christian but had become an atheist. And then there's this Facebook account calling itself God that he wants to friend him, and then there's all these issues with it. Well, not issues per se, but stories that relate to it. And then we have the main reason why. And I can already guess it going into the episode, you know? Is it because someone died? It's because someone died, isn't it? Does anyone want to guess it's because someone died? Anyone? Anyone want to guess it? Anyone at all? Yeah, of course it's because someone died. In this case, his mother died because she had cancer, and then it seemed like she would be in remission, but then a drunk driver killed her, and then this just makes the main character Miles be like, well, I can't be real then, because otherwise he's just a cruel monster. Of course, that's worth exploring in a different video I plan to call The Flaws of Atheism, but that's not worth covering in this video. Because you see, it's not just that TV show that had that as a plot in the movie God's Not Dead. It was also the death of a parent that made the main teacher in the movie an atheist and wanting to preach the philosophy that God's not dead, or that God is dead. And that's what the main character in the movie then asked to proclaim against, that God is alive and that he's not dead. And basically, it's used a lot in fiction, but it's not just because of that. It's because in reality there are some Christians who become atheists after the death of a parent, or hardly anyone. So as a Christian myself, I don't understand it, because my father is dead, and he died when I was 5, and his death actually strengthened my Christian faith. Yeah, kind of went in a bit of a reversal. Because there have been some people who found religion after horrible tragedies, such as Stephen Baldwin became Christian after 9/11, possibly even because of it. Anyways, so now to the main point of this video. How would my father's death strengthen my Christian faith? Well, that's quite an interesting thing to say. Now, some people just dismiss heaven as like some boring place, or also just some good some like fantasy that just isn't attainable at all, because it's just some mythical fantasy or whatever, and just, oh, it's a good story, happy ending, because death is sad and bad and whatever. But it's happy because they're in a better place, you'd hope, because if they're in heaven. But why would you dismiss heaven as being, like, just too perfect, or you just don't think it's real because you die and that's it? Because does that even make sense? Like, why would there just be nothing after death? But it's like, but as heaven, all you have to do is believe in God, confess and renounce your sins, and basically you get eternity of paradise. And that's pretty much it. And baptism, you do have to be baptized in most, if not all, cases. But the point is, when a loved one dies, it can be very traumatic, especially at a young age, where you're 5, your first question when learning that someone died is the obvious one. What's death? What does that mean? But the thing about it is that the fact that he's in heaven now, you could probably find that comforting, really, that he is in a better place. And not only that, but if you're a Christian too, you can get to be with him later in life. Because plan on living a long life, hopefully a happy life, hopefully healthy life. And basically, when I do die, I'll get to go to heaven, and I'll get to be with my Father again, and others who have died too, and, well, not all of them. I mean, there's some people you want to see that just won't be up there in heaven, and that's something that's horrifying to think of. There's all these people in hell right now that you can't do anything to save. They've had their chance, they lost it, and now they're suffering always. Doesn't that just seem sad to you? You wouldn't want people to actually go to hell, right? Of course, some of you may say, like, yes, and this also points out to certain atheism defenses that you wouldn't want some infamous people like Hitler or Stalin or Bin Laden to be in heaven. But the point is, do you really want just any average person in hell, like someone you despise beyond all reasons? Do you actually want them to go there? Because you'd have to be way cynical to be like, oh, but, like, oh. What am I even trying to say? The point is, why? Why would you want anyone there? Because it even says in the Bible, the Lord takes pleasure in the death of no man. And man in this case would refer to persons, so including all the women too. And that means even those who go to heaven, he doesn't take pleasure in their deaths. He just, he wants them to live. That's why he has life and creates life and all that. So the fact is, my father is dead, and he's in heaven now because of his Christian beliefs. So if I remain Christian, I will get to see him. And that's like, well, sounds like a pretty good deal. Wouldn't that strengthen it, the fact that you can be reunited with loved ones that have gone before you? Because would that even make sense to just abandon it? Oh, someone died, guess I'm not Christian anymore because, heaven isn't a good thing or not real, or come on. And what are we supposed to believe? That the people who have died briefly and gone there to come back, that all of them are lying? Because I know maybe one was, but weren't there a lot of them and not just one? And do you think they're all just... because it wouldn't make sense. Besides, I don't think I've heard anyone claim to go to any of the other religions' afterlives. Just either heaven or hell, and that was it. And that's provided they died briefly and came back, which of course isn't common. But it does happen often enough. And of course there are some people who die and just experience nothing, even though they're not actually dead permanently. But it's like, well, what are you supposed to think? Because maybe... I don't know how to describe it. I hope this video has been helpful for some people, because I'm kind of not as focused as I could be. But the point is, my father's death strengthened my Christian beliefs, because the thought of him being in heaven is comforting, you know? Wouldn't you want dead people to go there? Like, ones that you knew and like, all your family. You wouldn't want them to just go to hell, even if you hate them. And hopefully you don't hate family. No matter how horrible some might be. It's like... there's a lot of glare going on, a lot of light. But hopefully the imagery works out well. Anyways, I think I've talked enough for this video, and hopefully it makes sense and convinces people maybe don't abandon their Christian faith just because someone died. Because it just doesn't make sense, you know? And that is all. Bye.